Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Big Mike here. Hey, I've got a lot of windows open here, but I've got the sound off. I just want to, okay, so guys, it's May 5th, 2025. It's a Monday. Welcome to the channel. And today is Cinco de Mayo. And you are going to learn more than you ever wanted to on why we have Cinco de Mayo. Okay. Now, growing up, I'm from Arizona originally. It's where I joined the service, graduated high school, lived 15 years as a kid, spent a couple of years in Alabama, and was born up in Wisconsin, Beloit, Wisconsin. If there's any people from up there, welcome into the chat. I know Phoenix is from there. Phoenix is from Wisconsin, and I lived outside of Phoenix in Arizona. So there's our connection. So Cinco de Mayo, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I have lived in Arizona, Colorado, Oklahoma, Missouri, Louisiana, Alabama, Virginia, and Maryland. So I've lived in 8 states, Wisconsin, but I was a small kid. Lived on a dairy farm. Didn't really get to see nothing but cows. So 8 states as an adult or a teenager. And I have experienced Cinco de Mayo in the celebration in all 8 states. In the military, there are 74 U.S. Army garrisons around the world on military bases. And that's the administration unit headquarters that runs the bases and stuff like that, while the maneuver and combat troops do their thing. And every one of those installations, at least one club on that installation has a Cinco de Mayo celebration every year. Okay? So in saying that, I have celebrated Cinco de Mayo ever since I can really remember. Okay? As a teenager, as elementary school, we had the celebration in the school. We had little marching parades. We made our signs for that. And we did that for lots of holidays. But somehow, Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day has been cultivated, is that a good word, into not so much, driving St. Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland and Cinco de Mayo winning the battle, and we'll get into all that, to a United States moneymaker at bars and pubs and nightclubs and you name it. Okay. Now, growing up, Cinco de Mayo in Arizona and Mesa, where I live, Phoenix, big celebrations. I mean, huge celebrations of the Mexican and Mexican-American culture. And if you've never experienced that, and they do it in New Mexico. I went to one in New Mexico. I didn't live in New Mexico, but the university in, it's down south, the big City. I can't remember the name of it, but was down there, and it's a college town, number one, and man, they do it up. There was parades, car shows. There was all kinds of stuff down there in New Mexico. They do that in Arizona, all the parks. I used to go to Escondido Park and Rendezvous Park, and they'd have these huge car shows, bike shows, just a huge celebration. And one of those, and let me get the quote. And why do we celebrate Cinco de Mayo in the United States? In the United States, Cinco de Mayo is widely interpreted as a celebration of Mexican culture and heritage, particularly in areas with substantial Mexican American populations. Hence, Arizona has a huge Mexican American population. New Mexico, huge Mexican American population. Texas, California, huge populations. But for some people, it's a day to go get drunk or after work because it's not a federal holiday in the United States. But it is a cultural event, and most bars just, they just absolutely capture that holiday, and along with St. Patrick's Day, a day to make some serious cash. Okay? But we're going to talk about that today. We'll talk about some other things. However this conversation goes, if you would like to come up on panel, I would really appreciate that. And I have pinned the link at the top. Please come up and tell us your most memorable Cinco de Mayo or holiday experience. I know a lot of people have St. Patrick's Day. I mean, I'm Irish. Okay, my family's Irish, and I remember my grandfather. They all immigrated to the United States, Illinois, Wisconsin area. Big Irish population up there, and he told me. He said, Mike, he called me Mikey. He said, do you know why we have St. Patrick's Day? And I said, no. And he said, because of the Irish, St. Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland and stuff like that. But the second reason, and I said, no, he goes, Irish people like to drink. And God created alcohol so the Irish wouldn't take over the world. That was a quote from my grandfather. And I'm guessing you can say stuff like that when that's your heritage. Other than that, you're in trouble, right? So I am neither Mexican by any means. I know my sister was married to a gentleman. He's a Mexican American. Absolutely love him. Owns a fencing company in Arizona, doing real well, employs a lot of people. And so I worked for him on a few projects when I was home on leave and when I got out of the service. In between, I worked for him because I had a break in service because I had suffered a career-ending injury, and I had do medical care for 9 months, and then I came back in the Army. But anyway, that's here nor there. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Again, please, somebody come up here, be my partner today, and let's get this thing started. But before we do that, let's say hello to some people. All my friends, or our friends over in the Philippines, came in. It's getting nighttime. They're 14 hours ahead of us, something like that. So it's around 10 o'clock at night or more. Wow, there's quite a few people in here, or a lot of people saying stuff. So we had Cecilia in here, Marissa, Piercy. There's Wendy at Hardneck Farms. There's Merns Pacquiao. Charmaine's in here. Crystal, Gerlie Senna is here. Nicole is here, or was here. Rona, it was here. Gloria, how are you doing? Iram, how are you? Terry's here. Almira's here. Queenie's here. Abby G, how you doing, my friend? She always comments on every video that we put out. Arian, how are you? Texas Raider, there's Chris. Got to spend some time with him at the meetup at 10 Killer. Stephanie, how are you? Annie's in here. Heartland headquarters with Dink and Tank. Tamara, how are you? She's my morning moderator. Journey Smiles, how are you? Shane Raza. There's Chaith from India. There's Terry. Terry's getting ready to leave me again, guys. She's going back down to Texas. I'm getting kind of suspicious. There's a boyfriend in Texas.
There's no boyfriend in Texas.
All my boyfriends live in Texas. Man, she goes to Texas more than anybody. But she's doing an early Mother's Day weekend or week with Brittany. She needs a little me time, okay? I think their first thing is pedicures and manicures or whatever. I don't think I could sit there long enough for people to dig the crap out of my toenails. Man, that would drive me nuts. But she's going down there, spend some time with Brittany, early Mother's Day, because, guys, what is it, 13 days away? Is it 13 days? 11 days?
Mm-hmm.
Is Mid-America, guys. Man, it's creeping up fast now. So we're getting ready for that. Terry's going to take a little break. I hate driving that long. So I got to take care of the farm and all the animals. Almost got me a raccoon this morning. Another story for another time. But let's see. There's Karen. I'm going to say this. Gaudiosi. There's no O at the end. It's an I at the end.
Yeah, Gaudiosi.
Gaudiosi. Okay. I always want to put an R in there.
I always want to put that.
Let's see. Rebecca Touched by Yarn. How are you? Say hello to Ronald for us. Miss Arlene, how are you? Nunya, Texas. There's Jake. Nunya, Texas on the back 20. Yep. Jake, I've been wanting to get a hold of you. I don't have your phone number, but we did a social experiment. Not a social. What is that? A DNA experiment with a AM Samani rooster, a.k.a. Batman, and our white Rhode Island whites, hens, and we bred them together to create a zombie chicken. A lot of people do that. We wanted to do it, but they were using different breeds, but we had the AM Samani that we got from Jake. And the two hens that we got with him, we got two AM Samani roosters. Well, actually, they were chicks. They were small when we got them. But we got a rooster, which is Jared, and we got 3 AM Samanis with him. And one became Batman, and the other 2 hens, for some reason, died on us. We have no idea before they even started laying eggs.
Before they ever got inverted.
Yeah, we didn't. We had them separated together. But anyway, we wanted to. We did it. We did an experiment with zombie chick to do the zombie chicken thing, and the hens turned out great. Black beaks, black combs, black feet, black toenails, black skin, white feathers with little splotches of black in them, and then the black circles around their eyes. All the hens turned out perfect. All the roosters turned out like the hens, like the Rhode Island whites, red combs, everything. And I mean, even the skin is not black. And it's like, is there a genetic thing where the males? And then we gave some eggs that we were hatching to our friend Ginger over at Not For Nothing. And I still have to apologize to this day because all the ones she hatched out, she got all roosters except for one hen. And the hen turned out to be the same thing as our hens. And the roosters, the same thing. So we didn't know if it's a genetic thing where it's not passed on, that AM Samani gene is passed on to the males. So we wanted to find a AM Samani hen, okay, and breed one of our roosters, AM Samani rooster, that are white, and zombie roosters. Now they do have like gray sandish color in their neck, and that's the color. Breed them back to an AM Samani and see what happens then. Call it being bored on the homestead. I don't know, but the hens look gorgeous. So anyway, that's why I was trying to get a hold of Jake, because I know he breeds AM Samanis. So, hey, there's Jack.
What's up, Big Mike?
What is up?
Hey, I am sitting in a 10-wheeler fixing some of these washouts, waiting for
Ooh.
them. We are washed out all over our county.
Oh, I bet.
So,
This last one was like a flash flood.
yes, it was.
Yeah.
So we got over.
Before I forget, this episode of Morning Talk with Mike is brought to you by Full Blown Country, aka Pretty and Pooch. They changed their name to Pretty. And I found their hat they gave me. So guys, go over there and check out Pretty and Pooch. Give them a like fee and support their channel. Pretty and Pooch. There you go. Well, it reminded me to say that when I seen your face. Not the pretty part.
Right. No doubt. I'll let you know I may have to jump and run at any time, but
That's fine.
you were talking about Cinco de Mayo and also St. Patrick's Day. Well, I'm Irish.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I have ever celebrated Cinco de Mayo.
Really?
But I got married 35 years ago on St. Patrick's Day, and it's the most expensive holiday for me by far.
So you were married on the 17th of March?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. So we and that was total accident. We didn't even know it was the holiday. Just we were buying a home and decided we were going to get married in May, and decided to move the wedding up. So that was as quick as we could get everything organized. It just turned out to be St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I have drank a few pints of green beer.
I have too. I don't anymore, but I have too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you in a grader?
No, I'm sitting in a 10-wheeler loaded with rock, waiting for my turn to dump it.
Okay.
We just scrambling trying to get people in and out of their driveways a little safer and
So
down roads.
Do you work for the county or the
Yes,
state?
sir. Yes, sir. County. So we got a ton to do. About 20 plus roads washed out, and that's just the ones we know about.
Yeah, we went down a road the other day trying to find a lake, and we found the lake finally. But yeah, I mean the lake, the spillway the creek was going. Yeah, we have gotten so much rain. The hay fields, you watch first cut, hay prices are going to go down because they're going to be harvesting a lot of hay here in Oklahoma. Thank gosh. Hey, there's Paranormal Walks. We are subscribed to you guys now. Welcome in.
Lost you, Mike.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I got you back.
We got a lot of
I tried to go
down here.
I tried to go horizontal and I couldn't do it. Hey, I'm looking forward to Mid-America, but I can't promise I'll be there yet.
Okay.
Hoping I'll be there. Enjoyed catching up with you at 10 Killer.
I'm going to tell you what. From 10 Killer, you are the photo bomb king.
I jumped in a few. I was just walking around visiting, and every time I got a chance, I stuck my mug in there.
The secret is to get your face on camera, and you did one heck of a job. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily looking for opportunities. They just presented themselves.
But it was there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
A lot of good folk there.
Yes. A lot of good folks. And I still, when I was watching our premiere, I still seen people. I go, man, I forgot Dr. Good. She was standing there, but I got so excited because I seen Annie Ann, and I wanted to go over there and hug her while I was filming. Then I forgot about Rachel, and we're back to Good. I don't know. There was a few channels I missed. And Terry goes, oh, you missed them. You missed them. You missed them. I'm going, oh my God.
Yeah, me too.
I need a handler. You know what I mean?
I think we all do.
Yeah, Terry needs to be right next to me and like move my hips. Go here, talk to this person. Because she can edit her voice out.
I agree. I keep turning my head looking away from the camera because I'm watching to see when it's my turn. But,
hey, there's Merns Pacquiao over the Philippines. Welcome in, my dear friend. Good to see you. Tony at our cabin in the woods is in here.
Yeah, it's good to see Tony and Angie the past weekend.
There was. Sherry Fillmore, welcome in.
We were supposed to have a men's retreat this past weekend.
Yeah.
You know, Thursday through Saturday. There's 19 feet of water over the road that weren't there before, so we didn't get to have our men's retreat.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's AK Bill at My Alaska. Welcome in, Bill.
I posted
Cruz and Shirley De La Cruz, welcome in.
I posted several of their links that you're talking about now before I jumped on.
There's Rick's channel. How are you doing, my friend? Shirley Sienna's in here, Annie's in here, Terry's in here, Charmaine's in here. Oh, they came back. Welcome back in. Big Mike, where is your Corona and celebration? I have a rule. I have to eat lunch before I drink a beer if I'm ever going to do that. I have a noon hour I cannot violate. Because there's times in my past where I have violated that severely. And the funny thing about me, the last time I had a beer, well, I had one beer at the meetup at 10 Killer, and I hadn't had a beer since Pinecone Fest back in the fall, and before that, it was Mid America. So I'm not a. If you knew me in the past, you'd go, "Wow, okay." It used to control my life, especially after my first divorce, my only divorce. It took over my life, and I never want to rehash that or revisit that Big Mike ever again. So, and it's not that I'm anti-drinking, that's fine. But I didn't like the person I used to be, and I won't repeat it. And so sometimes I just go, wow, because I went to the VA. They said, when was the last time you had a drink? So they were asking, they always ask me those questions. Do you drink on a regular basis? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, no. And this was before the 10 Killer. I said, it had to be back in October. They go, October? I said, yeah, because I went to a YouTube meetup, and I think I had one beer during the meetup, or two beers during the meetup, and I haven't drank anything since. They go, oh. They said, you're a rare bird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
In this world, that is rare, but I don't drink either.
Because I will tell you, as a private, I used to drink my paycheck in one night.
I've had my share already. I don't need any more.
Yeah.
I was just like it. Where's the next beer coming from, and how can I get there?
Yep.
Not anymore. Not thanks
Gloria, welcome in, Gloria. Nicole's in here. New Beginnings. My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus is here. I really like their channel, New Beginnings. They have a really good channel. Because I've been to Crete, I've been to Greece, but I was on military duty when I went down to Crete. So we did go on tours of stuff like Husky Etna, our dear friend down in Australia land. Welcome in. I'm bound and determined because I don't usually get to the bottom of my chat ever. Abby's in here. Hello, Abby G. Journey Smile, Shane Raza. I just repeated their names because they were in earlier and they came back. There's Rhonda Dodson. Rhonda Dodson and her husband Bobby have a brand new channel, and they are going to be the featured channel of the day on Wednesday for Empty Homestead. I hope everybody can come over there and check them out. They started the channel at the meetup.
Yep.
So some
figuring
people
it out with
he's talking. He was the one. Remember that little pig sticker knife?
Yeah, he made a nice knife.
He made that. That's all handmade by him.
And he's got another pretty one for Mid America.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he showed that to me. It is nice.
Oh, good.
So I actually like it better than the one that was given away at 10 Killer.
It's called Figuring It Out with Catfish.
Yeah, but I think
the name of her channel.
I think, Mike, it's easier to look it up under Bobby Dodson.
Yes.
Put his name in there because he's kind of hard to find since it's a new channel.
Well, now that we've been to his channel and we're subscribed, we can put in there Figuring Out with Catfish, and it pops up on ours.
Yeah, it does for us too.
Originally, you got to put Bobby Dodson in there.
Right.
And then it'll pull up. But we'll have the link in the chat. Terry's getting ready to leave.
Bye, Terry.
Oh, you got to give the dog their medicine? I did not. So yeah, so we're gonna be shouting them out, getting their channel moving along, just like we did with Bayou Back 40. And they're clearly above 100 subs now, so we're happy about that. And we got them over 100 since the meetup, because at the meetup they had 56 subscribers.
That's great. That's good.
Over 100. So and that's Bayou Back 40. And that is Christy and Keith over there. Lori Carp, how are you doing? Beck Bucci's in here. There's Jamie at O'Rourke's Littlefield. Welcome in. Outdoors with Big Matt. Welcome in, brother. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. All right.
Trying to get my phone to sit on the steering wheel.
Yeah, trying to switch the breed. Get the zombie male, yeah. America, Mary Ann Bimler, welcome in. Film Farms, there's Johnny. I just seen where there's a short with Danny. It popped up on my feed with 2.5 million views. I didn't know that many people.
Danny's a pretty popular little bull.
Yeah, he is. And then the other
Mike
bull is
circling.
Rufus over at Our Louisiana Life. He's picking up traction over there on that bull. I went all the way to the finals in the fastest class. They had 142 miles per hour from a dead stop to a quarter mile, eighth mile. Wow. Good job, Johnny. Roadkill Ron. We got Roadkill Ron in here. Welcome in. Tony and Johnny's talking about racing. I seldom drink anymore, maybe one or two a month, unless I go to my remote cabin. Okay. Yeah. Bill? Yeah, drunk in remote Alaska, Johnny says. Good morning to everyone. Jovita Navarro. Buenos dias, amigo. All right. I should say amiga. Feliz Cinco de Mayo, everyone. Yes. So, okay. The wild huckleberries are here. Welcome in. So there's a lot of people that go out on Cinco de Mayo for the intent purpose of getting teetotal drunk. Okay? Have a good time with their friends, have no reason or understanding why there is a thing called Cinco de Mayo. Hey, it's just another night, like I said before, St. Patrick's Day, to just drink. Okay? So, I remember having the conversations in school in Arizona when Cinco de Mayo was coming up, because it is a big part of our Mexican American and our Mexican friends' culture, where us, and I can say this as gringos, celebrate it as a day of partying and have no rhyme or reason. We say, oh, it's Independence Day for Mexico. It is not. Okay. It is not. Okay. And I'm going to tell you the story behind Cinco de Mayo. Okay. As I scroll all the way back up to the top. And so, Cinco de Mayo, or the 5th of May, is a holiday that celebrates the date of the Mexican Army's May 5th, 1862 victory over the French at the Battle of Puebla during the the Franco-Mexican War. A day which falls on Monday, May 5th this year, is also known as the Battle of Puebla Day. Okay, not Pueblo, Puebla. While it is a relatively minor holiday in Mexico, okay, and that is the truth, okay, we celebrate it more, okay, as a heritage day, a cultural heritage day, than they do down in Mexico. It's also known, okay, Cinco de Mayo has evolved into a commemoration of Mexican culture and heritage, particularly in the areas of large Mexican American population. Okay, so what you may not know is Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican Independence Day, a popular misconception. Instead, it commemorates the single battle, a one-day battle in 1861 when Benito Juarez, remember Juarez, Mexico, down by El Paso, Benito Juarez, a lawyer and member of the indigenous Zapotec tribe, was elected president of Mexico. At the time, the country was in financial ruin after years of internal strife, and the new president was forced to default on payments to Europe or European governments. Countries borrow money from other countries all the time. So our guy down there says, you know what? We are stone fat broke. They didn't have the word bankruptcy back then, but Mexico went bankrupt and couldn't pay their debts to their lenders. So what did the Europeans do? Well, here we go. In response, France, Britain, and Spain sent naval forces to Veracruz, Mexico, demanding payment. So they're going to take it out in blood, okay, because they weren't going to get paid. Britain and Spain negotiated with Mexico and withdrew their forces. France, however, because back then, France was too big for their pants, all right, ruled by Napoleon III, decided to use the opportunity to carve an empire out of the Mexican territory. Late in 1861, a well-armed French fleet stormed Veracruz, landing a large force of troops and driving President Juarez and his government into retreat. So they said, hey, if you're not going to pay us, we're just going to take your land. Okay? All right? So that's what they did. And it is called the Battle of Puebla. Okay? So, my mouse is acting up. Certain that success would come swiftly, 6,000 French troops under General Charles Latreille de Lorraine set out and attacked Puebla de Los Angeles, a small town in east central Mexico. From his new headquarters in the north, Juarez rounded up a ragtag force of 2,000 loyal men to Mexico, many of them either indigenous Mexicans or mixed ancestry and sent them to Puebla. The vastly outnumbered and poorly supplied Mexicans, led by Texas-born General Ignacio Zaragoza, fortified the town and prepared for the French assault. On May 5th, 1862, Lorez gathered his army, supported by heavy artillery, and he went in front of the city of Puebla and led the assault. So, how long did the battle last? The battle lasted from daybreak to early evening, and when the French finally retreated, they had lost nearly 500 soldiers, and fewer than 100 Mexicans had been killed during the clash. Although not a major strategic win in the overall war against the French, Zaragoza's success at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th represented a great symbolic victory for Mexico, the Mexican government, and bolstered the resistance movement in 1867, thanks in part to military support and political pressure from the United States, their friends to the north, which was finally in a position to aid Mexico in its besieged neighbor after the end of the Civil War. Now, we were just getting over with the Civil War. We were broke as a joke. All right. Everybody was resetting. There was the Southern Reconstruction Project. All this stuff was going on. And when the U.S. got their crap together after that, they went down there and basically said, hey, Frenchie, you got to move out. That same year, Austrian Archduke Ferdinand Maximilian, who had been installed as the emperor in Mexico in 1864 by Napoleon, was captured and executed by Juarez's forces. Puebla de Los Angeles was renamed for General Zaragoza, who died of typhoid fever a few months after the historic triumph. And guys, that is why there is Cinco de Mayo. Okay? Where you take that, that's up to you. And probably a lot of people don't know that and why they do that. And a lot of people say, hey, it's Mexican Independence Day. No, it was from a battle where the Mexicans kicked the French's ass. That's what happened. Okay? That's short and sweet. And hopefully somebody learned something from that. All right? So let me get down here. I don't know. I mean, I didn't get into Mexican pride parades or anything like that. I do know that I got to experience in school they'd always have a big celebration, either in high school, in elementary school, or junior high, with the girls dressed up. They do the dance with the guys, and they'd have a mariachi band, or the school band would be playing music to support all that. And they really did it. I mean, it's huge in the huge Mexican American communities in the United States. But again, when I became an adult and I'd go out because it was Cinco de Mayo, all I would see is people like me and drinking at bars, getting drunk, throwing up on the sidewalks, and just another day of drinking for a lot of people. But I do remember the big car shows and stuff like that, and bike shows and celebrations in our parks growing up, which was always fun. because I was raised right on the edge of the barrio in Mesa, Arizona, and then now it's all in where I grew up is all incorporated into that section. It's a totally Mexican American section where I grew up in Mesa, Arizona. But and I would tell you that um, as long as I've lived there, you would think I could speak Spanish better than I do. Okay. And I can't. And I don't know why. I picked up German like that. Growing up, I could tell you how many Caucasian friends I had on one hand because I grew up. And everybody, Danny Rubio, Felipe Perez, Joe Lopez, David Maldonado, all my friends, Leon Braggett. I mean, that was my world growing up. And so I knew about this. Has been since probably junior high, the last time I was immersed in why they have Cinco de Mayo and stuff like that. But hey, it's a day of celebration for a lot of people. And some people in Mexico go, "What day is it?" I don't know. Yeah. It's a good thing in all cultural things. And I will tell you that being in the Army, our club systems really take advantage of every holiday, no matter what it is, especially if it's a cultural holiday or things like this. They have a celebration for that for the men and women in the service all the way around the world. So with that, Tony, do you know how many U.S. federal holidays there are?
I do not.
Does anybody know? Get your fingers out, start counting them off. Okay. Count them off. Can anybody tell me how many U.S. federal holidays are there?
I'd have to get the calendar out to figure that one out.
Crickets. And the only reason I know is I was in the Army and I get all those days off.
Yeah, Angie will say, I got this day off. I said, what for?
My Alaska says there's 10 holidays. Very close. Very, very close. 11. Norwegian Homestead.
That's Cato.
Cato gets it right from Norway.
Yep.
There
Cato,
is 11.
Haven't seen Cato in a long time.
Holidays. Now we're not talking the day of. People, everything's got this. Today's the national day of. These are recognized federal government holidays. There is 11 of them. And there is every soldier, airman, Marine, sailor has, because we get an email, these are the recognized federal holidays. And sometimes the recognized holiday is not on the day of the holiday because it falls on a weekend. So, and if it falls on a weekend, like say a Sunday, they'd recognize Monday as the recognized holiday for federal employees to get off. But there is 11 holidays, and there is 11 holidays this year, just like last year. But yeah, 11 holidays. So, Tony, what's going on with you, man?
Just keeping busy and drying out.
Oh, yeah. A lot of rain up there.
Yeah. I was helping Brenda Frieda Redbird. She is leaving, I think, officially today. Start her driving across the country and starting to look for a new place to live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she sold most of her property, and that's what she's waiting to do. and she bought a small camper. And I was there yesterday and getting things loaded up, helping her move stuff around.
Yeah.
And hooked up her camper, went through that with her camper. She understands it more.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning, she was leaving early this morning to head to Colorado. I think she's going to drive like 5 or 6 hours and pull over.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, I think, meet her kid, one of her kids in Colorado, I think.
Oh, okay.
But
wow.
Yep, she's on a big journey she's been waiting to do for a while.
Yeah, I bet.
We went out for dinner. We all went out for dinner on Saturday night to Chicken Shack in Arcadia.
The what shack?
Chicken Shack?
The Chicken Shack.
Yeah, it's really good food. The chicken is roasted chicken. It's really, really good chicken.
Mm. Yeah.
Have you've been by through there, haven't you, with the red barn, the big round red barn?
I know where it's at, and I've seen it on the Food Channel. Man versus Food.
Yeah.
He went in there, and it was. I enjoy, and I didn't know that was even there until we seen it. The episode on the Big Red Barn.
Right.
Yeah.
The Chicken Shack
has like steak and whatever thing out front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. And then the other place was that onion burger place that's just west of El Reno.
No more. Stop. Right.
Yeah. I was on the Food Channel too. So there's a lot of places we haven't been because, you know how far it is, Oklahoma City to our house. You've been here a couple of times just to go visit. But if we're on the way there, I mean, my grandkids and my son and my daughter-in-law, they used to live in Edmond.
Yeah.
Well, we would go up there and then we'd visit because we were up there. But yeah, we're kind of restricted down here. I mean, you can get decent food. We've been to every Mexican restaurant in the greater McAllister area, and there are a lot. I judge a Mexican restaurant on how well their chimichangas are. When I go into a new Mexican restaurant, first thing I order is a chimichanga. And I have had it made so many different ways. And if it's not good, I've never been back to that restaurant again. Now, Terry might like it for whatever she got, but I won't go back in there. So we have one is our go-to Mexican restaurant. They do the chimichanga right. They also have a pineapple fajita. And when they put it on your plate, it has a half a pineapple with the fajita and fixins all piled up in there. And the pineapple, when you put it in a tortilla, it just accents it so well. So that's what I judge a Mexican restaurant on. I'm used to the Mexican restaurants in Arizona. Never went to the big fancy ones like El Charro and stuff like that. That's for rich people. We were poor. So we would go out towards Gilbert, Arizona, and there was like a purple house. And it was a purple, basically adobe house. Okay, you know what adobe is, right?
Yep.
But it's a really old house that a Mexican family remodeled and made a restaurant out of this house. There's nothing around it. There's not a house for a mile back then, but the parking lot would be packed. And they converted a 5-bedroom adobe house into their restaurant.
Wow.
And when people tell me, oh, the Mexican food at this place is so good and authentic, And I go there and I eat there and I go, this is BS, because
That's what you're comparing.
I'm comparing it to this family, and the only person in that entire family, they had to bring in a cousin that spoke English to serve people at the restaurant, because nobody spoke Spanish. They were all immigrants from Mexico. They started this restaurant, and I'm going to tell you something. You have not tasted Mexican food till you go to an authentic Mexican restaurant. So, and we just called it the Old Purple House. And hey, let's go to the Purple House and eat. And the food was cheap. The food was great and delicious. And I don't know where it's at now. It's probably gone because Mesa and Gilbert has merged together, and everything old was bulldozed and bought and
Right.
so on and so forth. But yeah, same thing down in Tucson. Tucson has some great authentic Mexican restaurants. And it's,
And you couldn't beat Filiberto's.
and you could not beat Filiberto's. Filiberto's bought the old Taco Bells down in southern Arizona and converted them, took the bell out, did all that, repainted the building. So you could still tell it was a Taco Bell, because remember back then they had the little bell thing in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With the copper bell up on top or whatever. And they took those, and Filiberto, I'm going to tell you, this keyboard is basically the size of the burrito. They make a custom 26-inch tortilla, and I mean, they can barely get that thing closed. And they make, I stop off there, like if we had something down in Sierra Vista, Fort Huachuca, going on in the morning, Terry ain't getting up. Big Mike, you go to work, you fend for yourself. Don't get up that early. And I would stop by Filiberto and get a small baby, burrito, and take it to work and eat half of it for breakfast and the other half for lunch. So, and it was just absolutely good. And we fell in love with Filiberto's. But yeah. And again, there you had to, sometimes you struggled with the communication, but hey, they had the service, they had the food. You got to conform. So, and I just say seafood burrito or breakfast burrito, and they'd haul this little baby out of the window, and I'd drive out. But yeah, so I'm really particular on Mexican food. I do like the Tex-Mex down in Mexico, or when they do, what is that, Mexican infused, but don't go overboard with it. And stuff like that. So
we usually go to Ted's, that which was in Edmond, and also in I think the several is another one in Midwest City.
Yeah,
that's where we go. Ted's.
Yeah, what was that one? That pink building on the main street, La Hacienda. That was a good Mexican restaurant down in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Awesome. And I think that's the only Mexican restaurant we would eat at anymore. Is La Hacienda. La Hacienda. Yeah.
And there was only one in Woodland Park in Colorado.
And then Woodland Park, they had that family. It was, yeah.
Bill, my Alaska, had a choice of a Mexican restaurant, and he said Taco Bell's the best Mexican restaurant of all time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my sheet.
All right.
Gotta go.
You got to go.
Bye, Terry.
Love you.
Love
Bye,
you.
Tony.
See you later.
She's going to Texas to see her boyfriend, everybody. Pass that around, YouTube. Let's see. I think it's easier on this one because I hate the Mac mouse.
I tell that to Angie all the time, and she says, "Believe me, after you, there will be no more."
What is that? Alfonso said, "Is there any mariachis in your?" No, I have not seen. I've been to several Mexican restaurants in Arizona where they have mariachis at the restaurant, and you have to call ahead so they can bring them in for like birthdays and anniversaries and stuff like that. When you go to the restaurants and stuff like that, but and then I went to one restaurant. They came out and they had a mariachi band, but one of them was a bus boy or bus man, two cooks, and the owner. They would come out as 4-piece mariachi band, and they'd still have their apron on. They would throw on a hat and blah blah, and they would. It's just a good time. So I love the Mexican culture. I grew up around the Mexican culture, and just something people in. But I've been all over the world. I've been to 37 countries, and I'm not one of those Americans that go, "Oh, they don't have this and they don't have that," because I see Americans go over there and they go, "Oh, why is the hotel room so small? I thought it would be bigger." Embrace the culture that, like, if you're going overseas, especially, watch how fast they reserve the right to serve you, or throw you out of their restaurant, or kick you out of a hotel. They don't put up with a lot of bitching. Okay, we're a little bit too free in America, and they say, "Well, if you don't like it, hit the bricks." And I seen one couple, this one lady, we were at some place in, where were we at? We were in Spain. Terry, I wasn't married to Terry at the time. And they actually went into their room, stuffed everything in there they could find in their suitcases, and put it on the front step of the hotel. And when the people came back and they're going, "Hey, whose stuff is that?" And she said, "Wait a minute, that's our luggage." And hotel security wouldn't even let them in the building. Wouldn't even give them reimbursement. You get nothing. When you're a bad guest, bad things happen to you. But she had this holier than thou attitude where she was trying to get comped on everything. And this is the service we provide. If you don't like it, hit the bricks. And but they had to go find another hotel. So yeah. But yeah.
Karen.
I remember when we were in Austria, I couldn't believe back in the day, we went to Mozart's house, his birth home. And I will tell you that the doorways in the houses in Austria were about right here on my shoulders.
Wow.
And I didn't know people were that small back then. I mean, I just had to duck to get, like, I was in somebody's playhouse. And that's where Mozart was born, in Salzburg, Austria.
I've been to Guatemala and Quito, Ecuador.
Yeah.
My families used to live there, my grandparents and aunt and uncle. And my mom and dad would ship us, and I actually have a diary. My grandparents made us write a diary. They would ship us there for the summer. And I've been in Guatemala twice, and I can't remember what part. We lived in the mountains. They had a house on top of a mountain, and you can see a volcano from their home, and you can literally, at night, you can see it spitting out lava. And we would drive around toward that volcano. I can't remember. I think it was 1971 or 73, right in that time frame. And the grandparents say, "Good, you can climb on up it if you want, but you can never get to the top. It's so big."
Yeah.
And down below was an old volcano that had filled with water. And then I remember went to Quito, Ecuador, and somewhere we went to the beaches, and the beaches were black sand. And it was crazy. And
Yeah.
where you stayed was little huts right along the ocean. And they had a community bathroom and shower too, but these little living quarters.
But Quito is where the main airport in Ecuador is. Quito.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have to drive. We had to take because we went down there. I went down there. I had a friend. He was in the U.S. Army. And part of his thing was he was in the Army because he wanted to get U.S. citizenship. And Ecuador was a most favored nation because in Ecuador, the currency is the U.S. dollar. They don't have their own currency. They only use the U.S. dollar down there. And so he was in the Army and he said, "Hey, I'm going on vacation." We were at Fort Polk together. I said, "Where are you going, man?" He goes, "I'm going home to Ecuador." I said, "Dude, you're from Ecuador?" He said, "You didn't know that?" I said, "No, I thought you were just Mexican." And he got offended. And I'm going, "Hey, I just assumed you're Mexican." And he goes, "Do I look Mexican?" I said, "Dude, yes. Sorry, I'm an ignorant gringo, and I didn't know." And he goes, "No, I'm from Ecuador." I said, "Huh." And he said he came to the States on a vacation, and his cousin that lived in the States was joining the Army. He went to the recruiter station with him. And the guy I knew joined the military under the provisions of citizenship by I think it's his 6th year, or before you can become a staff sergeant in the Army, you have to be a U.S. citizen because it's a mandatory security clearance at staff sergeant. Because some jobs don't need security clearances and stuff like that, other than going on a computer and stuff. And back then we didn't have computers. There was like one gigantic one, and they just put cards in there, and they print these little holes and stuff, and then they would ship it up for a report. That was a computer when I first came in, and it was like as big as our kitchen table. It was huge. Put the card in one end, it would come out the other end, and they would put like some kind of DOS program, and they had to put the report, and the cards would print out each individual's attendance and whatever. So yeah, I went down. We flew down to Miami from. We drove down to New Orleans, caught a flight to Miami, and then Miami to Quito, Ecuador, direct flight to Quito, Ecuador. And then we took a bus ride all the way down because his family lived on the Pacific Ocean. Guys, Ecuador is freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay. Ecuador is gorgeous. It is humid. It is hot until you get to the ocean, and pray for that breeze every day because the water cools it down. And the black sand beaches down there.
Yep.
I went to dinner and I paid for mine, his mom, his dad, and his sister all together. We had chicken, we had lobster, we had fish, and we had drinks, and it cost me $16. And this was back in 1986. Cost me $16 for the entire family to eat.
That's crazy.
And then if you go and look at statistics on Ecuador, if you're looking for a vacation home and you want to buy a vacation home cheap and it's not in the United States, Ecuador is the place to go, because and I will tell you this, I rented a house when I went down there. And because his sister goes, hey, I work for a real estate company and I can rent you a house cheaper than a hotel. And I go, what? And I rented this house. It had a security wall around it with these big arching gates. And then there was like a mother's house in the back. And that's where this husband and wife stayed. And he took care of the yard, and she cooked and cleaned, and I didn't have to lift nothing. If I threw a towel on the ground, 5 minutes later it would be gone. She'd be washing it. And they worked there for the real estate company. He made $20 a week taking care of that property, and she made $16 a week doing maid duty inside the house. And that was considered very, very well paid down in Ecuador. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because at one time it was like $31 a month was upper middle class in Ecuador back in '86. I don't know what it is now, but I was just shocked that then when I went shopping and all that, I go, oh, okay. Now you're not going to buy stuff from that you would pick up at Walmart. It would be whatever's indigenous or whatever's there is what they sell at the markets and stuff like that.
Right.
They eat a lot of fish, a lot of chicken, and guinea pig runs wild over there. Mm-hmm. And it is delicious. Didn't know I was eating guinea pig until after the fact. And I will tell you, guinea pig, they eat guinea pig. It's crazy. And it is so good. People go down there and they just go, that's a guinea. Because there's some restaurants you go out back and you can pick the one you want. It's like picking a lobster out.
Wow.
And they cook it for you, skin it, cook it, everything. And I'm going to tell you, it is delicious. So
I remember when I went to Quito, Ecuador, we stayed down there with an uncle, great uncle, I guess you would call. He was family. Anyway, he was one of the largest bank presidents in Quito back then, and also he became a political figure. And when I went to, my brother and I stayed at his place for the summer. When we drove up, they had these massive front gates, and there was guards walking around with guns all around his place. He had 2 tennis courts, 2 outdoor swimming pools, 2 homes, and an area that I guess you can't say maid, but they had maid service. My grandparents did too, and they would actually house them, and they'd have a place to live. They cook, they eat, they'd stay there, and as long as they worked and they made money, it was pretty cool. It's something I'll never forget visiting. My grandparents had the exact same thing. Tamara's going to go on, and these 2 crazy men. Good morning, Ginger.
It's supposed to start raining later tonight. Got another storm coming through.
Yeah.
That's why Terrie's leaving right now, so she can get down there before all that rain gets up here.
That's why Brenda was wanting to get out of here before the rain hits. She should be on the road.
I read that Terrie and I lived in Colorado for 4 years. We lived in Woodland Park, which is I loved Woodland Park. The only problem was we lived at 9,000 feet on the side of Pikes Peak. Mm-hmm. And down below us was the owner of his last name is McCaffrey. He owns the software company. You've heard of McCaffrey Antivirus and stuff like that. He owns that. He lived down below. He had a helipad out back. You'd see his little helicopter come in. That dude ended up going crazy or something. And he was like wanted for murder from Highland or something. I don't know what it was.
Oh, wow.
I remember his compound was down below our house. But yeah, we lived there for 4 years.
I was just thinking, you need to talk about your meetup coming up. I see that thing scrolling on the bottom.
Yeah, the meetup is May 16th through the 18th at Lake Eufaula State Park. That's the meetup dinner on Friday. That's scrolling down there on the 16th at 6 p.m. at La Finca Mexican Grill. Speaking of Cinco de Mayo, we're going to be eating at the Mexican Grill. If you show up on Thursday, we got quite a few people that show up on Thursday because they make it, a big event. I think Jesse and Lisa's going to be there on a Tuesday or whatever. So we're going to go to dinner on Thursday because everybody for the pre-thing, we got to get the pavilion set up and make sure we have all the grills there and the Blackstones and all that stuff. So just like Tim Killer, we can have Blackstone Alley with everybody working. I'm bringing mine. You said you were bringing yours.
Yeah.
I think was that Chris's grill he was working on?
Yeah.
They're coming, and Chris and Amy's bringing that. They're bringing the big blue ice chest. I don't know where they got the serving trays, but if we don't have those.
You talk about the tins? You talk about those?
No, they're like the big fancy. I don't know who brought those.
I see.
But we'll have the tin trays.
Yeah. I'm talking about they put the food in.
Yeah,
that was Jesse and Lisa.
Oh, that was theirs. Those serving things.
Yeah, they got them on an auction, I think, or something.
Oh, okay.
For maybe $10 a piece or $10 for all three.
Because you can put a sterno underneath there, and you keep water boiling because the pan sits in the water and not on the food, and it keeps that warm, so you have warm food and stuff like that. I don't think we'll have problems with warm food come in 11 days because it's going to be kind of warm in 11 days. It's a weekend before Memorial Day. So anyway, we're going to be doing all that. But Thursday, we're going to go to Captain John's on the water. It's a seafood and steak place. They got all kinds of other things besides that. I like the place because I get their Cajun broil, and it's got crab legs, it's got shrimp, it's got boudin, it's got corn, it's got potatoes, it's got shrimps, it's got crawfish, and it comes in a big old bucket. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to eat dinner there on Thursday for those that are there early, and the pre-gang that come in there. And then Friday, we're going to be going on the 16th to the La Finca.
No more.
And then because at La Finca, we're going to be celebrating May birthdays. And I know Marie at our Okie Homestead, she will be turning 60 on May 16th, the night of dinner. And then also Carrie from Oak she won't tell me how old she is, but she'll be having a birthday. Sean at Let's Trade Paint, I believe his birthday is Sunday the 18th. Christine, Miss Gillum Farms' birthday is in that time frame. I don't know, but she'll be 29 again. 2026 is the 100th celebration of Route 66. There you go. I lived in Waynesville, Missouri, and Route 66 cuts the city right in half. Yep. So everything down there in Missouri land, they do have a trail. They have a thing where every summer all these motorcyclists would come through town because everybody wants to do the Route 66 during the summer and stuff like that. So just for years, it was like everybody would bitch about Missouri because Missouri had a helmet law at the time when we lived there. And people would have to, they would come out of Illinois because there's no helmet law, and they would drive into Missouri and get pulled over by state troopers and stuff like that. And a lot of people got tickets. Now there's no helmet law, and finally, Republicans got into office and they changed that in the state of Missouri. But I had already moved out of there. Two old people on the couch. Good to see Mark and Debbie.
So when are we doing the breakfasts and stuff? Are we doing that on Saturday and Sunday?
We're gonna do on Friday is the dinner. That's the only meal. I mean, and you pay as you go.
Yep.
But there won't be no meal provided on Friday because people will be coming in all day long.
Correct.
In evening too. But we're gonna have people there when you do come in to welcome you and help you set up and do just to get your basics done, whatever you need so it goes smoother. Because after being on the road and everything, and you got to set up your trailer and all that stuff, it's like me. I always carry a drill with a socket. I don't do the hand crank thing. I just put it on that nut. Legs are done.
How'd that go again?
Yeah. You know that sound, right? Being a race car guy. But it just helps when someone's there hooking up your hoses and helping you do stuff so you can finally, after a drive, you can just relax and start your short but memorable vacation. So breakfast is going to be on Saturday and Sunday. And then we're going to have a potluck dinner on Saturday after the giveaway. So about 3 o'clock, between 3 and 5 o'clock, we're going to have that on Saturday. I just got a call from Jerry Butler. They just got done processing 2 hogs, and he's going to be bringing 10 pounds of sausage to the meetup that we're going to cook, split it up each day. Terry and I are going to be bringing eggs. A lot of people are going to be bringing eggs. We appreciate people that bring stuff to help support that so all the costs doesn't go on the host. And so if you got sausage or bacon you want to bring to be part of the community breakfast, you don't have to cook it. You can eat it. We would appreciate that. I think Terry's going to do a pot of boiled potatoes on Friday. So she's going to boil those up. It'll probably be on a Blackstone or whatever. She'll boil those up, and then so Saturday morning, all they have to do is after they've cooled off, because if you ever know fried potatoes, they cook up so much better not cooking them raw after boiled in the skin. Then you can just slice them up, put onions and potatoes together instead of hash browns. I just like onions and potatoes and stuff like that. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have scrambled eggs. We're gonna have bacon, sausage, and anything people bring, we're gonna cook it.
Yeah, you can bring it.
We'd appreciate that.
I think we need to start cooking our meetup. We learned we probably need to start cooking like a half hour earlier, especially with the bacon, because I get deer out there. Because there's so much bacon, there's so much cooking on these grills. Start a little early.
Yeah. So we're going to be cooking that up. And if you want to bring your favorite hot sauce, your favorite salsa, we'll have tortillas. That's why one of the reasons Terry's going down to Texas. She's going to be bringing back street taco size tortillas and stuff like that from HEB because she loves them. They have a nice buttery taste. They're not dry, and they make them right there in the store. So she's gonna bring those. She's gonna bring the bigger ones and then the street taco size for the meetup for breakfast. I think she's buying chorizo for the meetup and stuff like that. So yeah, any help from anybody out there that wants to help contribute to the meetup, we just email me at mthomesteadok@gmail.com. Say, hey, we'd like to support you guys with some blue and gold or eggs or whatever, ham, whatever. We'll cook it to feed the masses. And then on Saturday, we are going to have we call it a dinner. That's a lunch dinner. So a dinner is going to be going on, but it'll be right after the giveaway that starts at 1:00. Breakfast will start at 9:00. The giveaway at 1:00, and then the dinner will happen after that. So it'll happen around between 3 and 5 o'clock. We'll set everything up. Everybody bring a potluck dish and or crock pot or whatever you're going to do. Just email us and say, hey, we're going to be bringing, we're going to bringing ribs. Man, I'm going to tell you something. Tim Mason's short ribs, dude, those were so good. Oh man, he knocked that out of the park, and he cooked that in the 10 Killer Lodge. So could just imagine what he could do if he was at home. So we do have 2 main grills. We'll be doing hamburgers and hot dogs for that dinner meal. Terry and I are going to supply the hamburgers, the hot dogs for that, because I know kids will eat a hot dog over pulled pork any day.
What were you saying about hamburgers, hot dogs? I was looking at my phone for a second. You were doing hamburgers and hot dogs when?
We're going to do hamburgers and hot dog. We're going to just bring them, and we're going to cook those on the actual grills that are there at the park, and we're going to have that for the dinner.
Okay.
People want hamburgers and hot dogs. We'll bring some of those, and then that'll be our part of the potluck is the hamburgers and hot dogs.
Okay.
And then because sometimes kids just don't eat grown-up foods, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if you put a big old bucket of macaroni and cheese, yeah, but don't add nothing to it, just mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
That. So we'll do that, and then again breakfast the next day at 9 o'clock. We're gonna tune in hopefully with at I think it's 8:30 in the morning, or probably after breakfast if people want to have a religious type of service. We can set something up. I don't want to push religion on anybody, but for those who do want to participate in it, it'll be available. If there's any volunteers, if we have a pastor coming or somebody that wants to present something to the masses, that would be great also. It's a good setting, being in the woods and at a park and stuff like that. So that's totally available for those people. I will tell you that there is a floating restaurant that's in a store that's right there in the park. It is a dock, and it has a store in it, and it has a restaurant in it. They play music. They have a bar inside there. They have food. I haven't seen the menu. They have just remodeled it, but it's a floating restaurant, store, bar, and all that stuff right there. They said they will keep that open until 10 o'clock. They have to close because quiet hours after 10 o'clock in the park. But if people want to go down there, it is a short walk or even shorter drive to there from where we're camped out. And you want to go there and have some beverages, unless you brought your own. But it's going to be there, and you can get food until they close. Pizzas and I guess hamburgers and whatever. You can get your baskets and stuff like that.
Is that floaty dock that you did your video on? You went into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just finished up remodeling that, refloored the whole place.
Yep.
Because that used to be a winter indoor fishing dock, and it was heated, and they had structure underneath there, and you could fish there and stuff like that. So,
when did you do your drive-through? Let people know you did the drive-through. Was it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
We'll say he did Mike and Terry did a drive-through that whole park.
Yeah,
Showed
if you go
different
on our
things.
videos, you can see the drive where we did a full video on the park, all the information you need. And if you go to MT Homestead on Facebook, we have an event dedicated to the meetup with all the information there, reservation link. Also, we have restaurants and hotels and the Tourism Bureau website. We've got all that stuff, things to see in the area. So you can go there and get the information. Also, if you go to our Facebook page, if you're coming to it, please hit go or I'm coming on there so we can get a head count. Head count's important to host so we can predict how much food we have to buy, because meetups are not cheap, guys. I mean, they're fun to go to. I get that. But if you're the host, and we don't mind doing it, but getting a correct head count, because we'd hate, and we're going to buy extra. I just don't want people to go without.
Right.
And, but that's why we want people to help out with it. If you want to bring anything to support breakfast and lunch and stuff like that, we'd appreciate that. So, and I think I also posted when the meals are and stuff like that on the Facebook page also. So you can get that off there, the information and stuff like that. So
Can you, like us, we don't do Facebook. Maybe can you put that on your post on the, copy that so that other people, because I know we're not the only one, and that way they can see what's going on too there.
Yeah. I don't think you have to be on Facebook to look at Facebook.
I don't know. I've never even been on it.
Oh, you're a very lucky man. Yeah, it's absolutely, I mean, and Facebook is not as popular as it used to be, just like MySpace. People, they go, what? And that's how I met Terry, was on MySpace. It was before Facebook. So.
Tamara, have a great day. Is that Janae? I think that's Janae in there.
Who?
Janae, I believe. Jolly Huggers.
Yep. There's Leonard Mountain.
Yeah.
Pay me what you want to do. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll go over there and check that video out. I'm missing.
Somebody had a question further back. I'm trying to find it.
AK Bill said, I'm just bringing myself. And that's fine.
Oh, they just left. Tamara left. She was asking, would you rather her bring chips and tortillas?
Do what?
I guess Tamara was asking if you would rather her bring chips or tortillas. But she just left. So we didn't get to answer that.
Yeah. But please, if you have any questions or you want to bring something, if you're bringing something for the giveaway, please email us at mthomestead. Okay. We try to make our email as real as possible. So mthomestead, okay, at gmail.com. Please give us an email. Oh, and I'm going to tell you something. I've been working with Mickey on the 2026 Mid-America. Yes, I'm thinking a year ahead. And the marketing on it is phenomenal. We're going to be producing the logos, the banners, and all that stuff. Once we decide on which logo or combination of logos and banners and stuff like that we're going to do for Mid-America. And if you're at the Mid-America, we will be telling everybody the location for the 2026 Mid-America meetup. So get ready for that one. Some people will be happy. Some people will say, "Oh," but it's a great location, and I absolutely love it down there. I agree on earlier to start cooking. Yes. Well, I mean, you look at it this way: if you're eating at 9, I think in Mid-America we started cooking at 8 o'clock in the morning, didn't we?
Mid-America?
Yeah, good. Not in 23.
Oh yeah, we started.
Yeah,
we started early.
Yeah, we started early cooking, and we had everything ready, and because it's kind of great because we had Jennifer or Jen over at Our Mountain Home. She was cooking. DD5 was cooking. You were cooking. I mean, everybody was cooking. We had Blackstones coming out our rear end, and it's good when you have too many Blackstones because when people start eating, I mean, but then again, we had over 300 people at the meetup.
Yeah,
we were feeding a lot of people. So yeah, we will, and we don't know right now. We got 89 channels and subscribers that have pre-told us that they're coming. We had this, I think by the time the meetup last in 23, we had 101 people said that they were coming. And then we ended up with a little over 300 people.
Yep.
Because if you remember, we had all the sites taken at Creek. We had all the sites in Seminole. We had all the sites along the, what is it called? Choctaw, along the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And had people pushed down towards, down by White Rock and all them guys that were down below us. I mean, in that area. So we had a lot of people, and we were planning. We said, okay, if 101 people said we're going, then we need to probably plan for 150.
Right.
And Terry goes, "Are you sure?" And I'm going, "Well," and then she goes, "Get another case of burgers, get another case of hot dogs, and yada, yada." And guys, it was all freaking gone.
Yes.
Then we had Sandra Madrano make all those cakes and pies and all that stuff. Well, we're not going to have it this time. So that's why we're saying Terry will probably make a cake like she did this time. And, if you want to bring cakes, cookies, whatever. Trey's coming. He's going to set up his ice cream making station. So Trey will be here from our Louisiana life. So he'll be doing the homemade ice cream.
Sean will bring his again too, and have an ice cream off. Who makes the best ice cream?
Yeah,
that's Trade Paint. He did one too.
Yeah. What I did with the ice cream I got from him last time is I did that and I poured root beer in it, and I had a root beer float. Yeah. My sugar level, my diabetes was up to the top of my head with that root beer float. But yeah. So we appreciate any help people want to do, because it just goes better. And show off your favorite crock pot meal. I'm going to tell you something. Whoever made that chicken and noodle with cheese at 10 Killer, I'm going to tell you something. They scraped that crock pot raw.
Yeah.
And if they had a crock pot that was twice the size of that, it'd still be gone. Because I seen people scraping the cheese off the side of the crock pot. That was
Amy said that they're going to bring a marble board for a giveaway, Mike.
Oh, great! Yeah, and don't forget the big blue cooler, Amy, for the community ice chest.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have if you've seen it at 10 Killer, everybody brought water and soda and juices or whatever they wanted to, and we fill up the community chest so everybody can.
And if everybody can bring a bag of ice with it, just one bag, and that will keep everything cold.
We went to the Walmart, and because we only buy zeros, whether it's Dr. Pepper, whether it's Mountain Dew, whatever it is, we buy zeros. And I think we got out of Walmart, we bought like $75 worth of soda, and we just dumped it all inside there. I said, there. Just dump it in there. We bought cakes and we bought sodas, and then people started trying them out, and they're going, "Wow!" They thought it'd taste like diet soda. And I got Paul Case hooked on the Mountain Dew Blast. Paul Case went to the store and bought him some Mountain Dew Blast.
Amy was asking, did you want them to bring their Blackstone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amy said that?
Yeah.
Yes. We'd appreciate the Blackstone. Chris, the cook, does he come with his own Blackstone? I'm bringing my Blackstone. You're bringing yours. Chris brings his. That's 3. DD5 said they're bringing their Blackstone. So that's 4 Blackstones that we're going to be cooking on. So, yeah.
What kind of people you're going to need all the Blackstones?
Yeah. And then, Terry was even talking about, if we started earlier doing flapjacks, dedicate 1 Blackstone for flapjacks.
Yep.
Not big ones, but flapjacks. Not pancakes like Waffle House or whatever, but flapjacks, and cook those all on 1 Blackstone.
That's kind of what we did. We did one with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the eggs, the bacon, sausage, and do all that.
Who was Chris cooking on?
What?
Eric. Rainey?
He was cooking. He brought his own little grill.
His own Blackstone, right?
Yeah, it was a smaller version, a little bit smaller.
Okay. Because I seen him cooking on, he was doing sausage on his Blackstone.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I envision. Still waiting for people to tell me that they're bringing their Blackstones and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you something. It's better to have than and not need than need and not have.
Yeah.
But yeah, mine's a 36-inch. I think yours is 36-inch Blackstone. So we're going to be bringing all those things. We will have.
Hey, we got our own egg mixer, Angie, with that little bucket she had. That was super cool what she did.
Oh.
I even think about that.
That Sunny Delight, whatever that was.
It was orange juice container.
Smartest thing she could have brought.
Yep.
That was.
I didn't know what she's doing with it when she's bringing it to you. You'll see. It's all right.
Yeah. And there's Kevin Galloway's in here.
Hey, Troy.
I didn't know is Not For Nothing coming to Mid America, or they're skipping.
I don't think
Oklahoma.
so. I don't think they are.
Okay. There's Let's Trade Paint.
Rhonda Dotson. James.
Oh, it's underwater. What?
That 10 killer? I mean, that Eufaula?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what they're talking about. Wow. I guess it can only float up so far, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Did you guys get that on film, Amy? Johnny?
Yeah, James. James, we told Chris to bring his grill.
Marble board. Yes. Rhonda Dodson, we have a small one we can bring. Thank you, Rhonda. Appreciate that. Troy Sutton will be there. I'm hoping James Hall will be there. Wouldn't be a meetup without James Hall.
Yeah. That's something with James. He didn't know nobody. He was just a person that commented.
Wendy says, I can make cake or cookies. That would be fine. Whichever you want to bring. Let's see. We'll let Jesse round your cake or cookies before. Hey, there he is, Camp Cage Free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Mid-America on Wednesday. Terry's going to be in Waco. I'm going to be here. I've got my instructions from my Sergeant Major on what to do. I do want to tell you that there is a channel on YouTube that we're subscribed to, Scott Barlow's channel, Bartlow's Barbecue, and he has his own cookbook, Meat, Fire, and Friends. It is his recipe book on for barbecue grills and stuff like that. Terry bought this, and it talks about his family. Then it has tailgating recipes for barbecue grills, anything and everything about barbecuing. I mean, beans and chicken and meals and preparation like that you may never even thought of. And so Terry bought 2 of these. One she has in her cookbook collection, and she's going to be giving away this as one of the giveaways. And it's just cool having somebody you watch all the time all of a sudden produce a cookbook. So Terry bought that for the giveaway. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff. We got fishing rods and I don't know. She's down there in Waco buying, going to those big box stores, and she's buying gifts for the kids, for kids giveaway. She's doing all kinds of stuff. And those are all the hidden things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And if you guys, I like the idea of giving away the kids prizes first.
Yep.
Then the kids get busy and they go off and play, and the parents can be there for the adult giveaway. I really like that. That was a great idea you all came up with at 10 Killer. So, hey, plagiarism is legal as long as it's not copyrighted.
Troy said the gangway to the store is underwater.
The what?
The gangway to the store is underwater. I guess that you follow?
Yeah. All right. So this rain has got to stop. The lake rose. Like when we went there, the beach was gone in the swimming area. It was all underwater. It was all the way up to the grass.
That was back, 10 days ago, whatever you did that. And it's rained a lot since then.
Ago.
Yep.
Yeah, it sure was. Yeah. If it's underwater, then we'll make our own entertainment.
Yep.
Okay. And they just remodeled that thing.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like all these roads around here. They work on them. It only takes one rain and they're gone.
Yes.
So that's a big budget for a county. So yeah, I'll probably have to drive up there. It's only from our house, let's see, 11 miles to the highway, and then it takes me less than 30 minutes. Once I'm on the highway, it takes me 10 or 11 minutes to get to the highway, and then 30 minutes to get to the turnoff to Lake Eufaula where the meetup's going to be at the park.
I think Bill from My Alaska is going to be there.
You guys are coming up 40, right?
Yeah.
So you guys would take the 150 exit.
Mm-hmm.
It's right before the 69 exit.
Right.
Yeah, 150 is the highway that the state park's on. And it kind of like goes from 40, loops around, and it connects to 69. Kind of like a bypass.
Right.
So, yeah. And I think I'm going to, on either Wednesday or Friday, show everybody the banner that was made, Mickey's artwork for the meetup. So if you see that, that's where the meetup's going to be. I can't put a banner when you come into the state park. They have a board that they said they'll get the things, welcome Mid-America YouTube meetup. They have a board up there that they put all that on. And then they said I can have a small banner when you drive in. Once you get to Deep Fork, the actual campground, we'll have a small one that's about yay big. So you're at the meetup site. And then we have a huge one for the pavilion. So the big one, the big one is for the pavilion, and it's 8 by 4 foot. So it's a pretty good sized banner. Right. I want to thank Jamie and Kevin at our Works Littlefield for making the banner for me. I absolutely appreciate that. Hey, there's Alfonso, who's upside down. You're upside down, brother. Hey, there.
Let me fix my sound.
So this is Alfonso. He's over in Colorado. Okay, he is a musician, songwriter. He's got it all going on, guys. But yeah, he's over in Colorado. Are you in Colorado Springs, Alfonso? He's still find his sound.
Hello, can you hear me? Check.
Yeah, I got you.
How are you today?
Yeah. Are you in Colorado Springs?
Denver Metro.
Oh, Denver Metro. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
But-
I know. I've been watching you guys. We're talking about Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with? I know you guys are Catholic too. I remember.
Yeah, I am.
When I'm from New Mexico, our church will have like a mass every year for Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does your church have a mass for that? Or no.
No, not here in
Oh,
Colorado.
so you're where you at the American Catholic then? Not the same as the Mexican Catholics. Not the same.
No,
The
mine's,
American Catholic are in line with the Protestant Reformation.
yeah, I mean, and people don't understand the different, I mean, you got Roman Catholic, which we're traditional. I was
Yeah.
traditional Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like Pope Francis
Right.
was a Jesuit.
Right.
Okay. He was a Jesuit priest. And so that's like in the Latin American
Right.
countries and stuff like that.
Right.
Is you get your Jesuit priests and traditional and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah. It's not the same. The Catholic Church not the same everywhere you go. Like
Yeah.
when I lived in Alamogordo, I would go. There's only one church that offered the Spanish service. That was the Immaculate Conception Church in Alamogordo.
Yeah.
And a lot of people there, they call it the Mexican church because that was the only church that has Spanish service.
yeah. Sierra Vista, we went to traditional Mexican church, Catholic church down in
Yeah.
Sierra Vista, Arizona, when we lived
Yeah.
down there, and they did the mass in Spanish also.
Yeah.
So
But when I'm saying that the Mexican church is not the same as the American English, because
Yeah,
the American
yeah.
church, they go more based on what the Bible is, they go
Right.
more in line with the Protestant Reformation. And
Yeah.
I tell you from my experience.
yeah, little or no translation besides the actual word.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, like I said, I just tell you from my experience going to church, stuff like that.
Yeah. Now Alfonso, he used to come on MT Homestead on our show and perform for us. And he's a great musician, guys. An awesome musician. You got something prepared for us
Yeah.
for Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, I'm going to play the Mexican church song called De Colores.
All right, let's do it. He's got to get his sound right.
Yeah, trying to get my sound correctly. I don't
All
know.
right.
I need to tune my guitar.
Hey, Paul. Wait a minute, James.
Paul Honeyman.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been having problem with my sound lately. It's not
Yeah.
working right. Yeah, my mixer. De colores.
Hi, Beverly.
All right.
That was good. Yeah.
All right. Hey, we've been on here 2 hours. I just looked at the clock.
Oh
Didn't
my
even
God.
realize that.
Hey, I want to say that. Did you know? Did you heard of Pancho Villa, right?
Yeah.
Now, my aunt in Texas actually prayed to him.
Really?
Yes, because the Diocese of El Paso, Texas, recognized him as a saint.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And I used to have the prayer card of Pancho Villa, and it goes like this: Oh glorioso, divino maestro de todos los colores mexicanos, bendice a todos los inmigrantes que vienen de este país.
And that means,
Yeah, divine master of all colors of the Mexican, divine master of all Mexican colors. Please bless those immigrants that come into this country.
oh wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people.
You may not
Juarez
find it
will
in,
pray
in
to him.
Rome, but you'll find it in the diocese down in El Paso.
Right.
Fine.
If I'm saying the Catholic Church is different everywhere you go.
Oh yeah.
Like, in
Yep.
fact, I had a relative down in Mexico, down in Juarez, who became a living saint, who was canonized as a saint like 10 years ago by a priest.
Yeah.
And not only that, he said that the priest canonized because he did so much for helping the church and all that. Then the priest bought him a truck and all that. But it turned out it was corrupt.
Yeah.
There was a lot of corruption going on within the Catholic Church in Juarez because the priest was caught dealing drugs and all that.
Oh wow. Hey, so do they have a big Cinco de Mayo celebration, a cultural celebration up in the Denver area?
Not really, They used to before the pandemic, but now I don't think not anymore.
Yeah.
It's not very big either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very big, unfortunately. It's not
Well,
like
guys, hey,
Mexico,
this is all I got for
South
today. We will be on Sergeant's Talk TV tomorrow night, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I believe Jason, they're back from their vacation in the Caribbean. So join us over at Sergeant's Talk TV tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then on Wednesday, Terry and I will be live on our Wednesday show, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. She'll be in Waco, and I will be here, and we'll pull this thing off once again as she's down there celebrating Mother's Day early with our daughter, Brittany. When she gets back, it's hot and heavy Mid-America meetup time, and we will be running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to make sense of everything and get everything together at the last minute and get it hauled up to the state park. And guys, I hope to see you there. Remember, if you're coming to the meetup, go to MT Homestead on Facebook and hit the go button. And then, or you can email us at mthomesteadok@gmail.com and tell us, hey, we're coming to the meetup. This is what we're bringing. as far as if you want to tell me what food you're bringing and what if you have giveaways or whatever. But hope to see everybody there. Remember, make those reservations. I don't even know what's open. I got to go back on there and see what's open because when we visited there, they said, "Man, you guys are filling up this park. We're not used to this until actual Memorial Day." So, hey, guys, remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need, and always think of that. Guys, we love you. God bless you. Happy Cinco de Mayo Day. And we'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for coming in. Hey, 2 hours went by quick.
Yeah. Hey, really quick. Questions about Sophie. I'm going to do a short little video. Healthy. Sophie's healthy, but we had something going on with her about being pregnant, and I'll just do the video out there so everybody can see it, and I'll try to have it out today.
Okay.
So
And
just want to let people know.
Information thing posted on our community tab.
All right, good.
All right. All right,
Have a
guys.
good day, everybody.
See you tomorrow. See you Wednesday, and see you Friday for
Yep.
Morning Talks with Mike. Bye, guys.
Bye.